Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us here on GMT. Good morning, Tobago. Of course, it's always a pleasure coming to you wherever you are, whatever you're doing this morning. We're so happy that you can make us a part of your morning routine. As you are aware, we're still talking about Carnival 2024. And why are we talking about it? Because it was a major success. Yes, there were challenges along the way, but we have enjoyed beautiful success as reported by so many different stakeholders here on the island of Tobago. We've also heard from revelers, we've heard about from masqueraders, and a lot of persons who participated in the event here on the island. So we will talk about it a little bit more as we continue the assessments to get all the statistics in. This morning we're going to have a conversation with Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters. He is the NCC chairman, and we're talking about his opinion, his assessment based on the information he has seen or his experience with Carnival 2024. Good morning, Mr. Peters, and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me. Thank you ever so much.
Of course, of course. It is an absolute pleasure speaking with you this morning. I am a child of the 80s, and so when I hear these types of names, I get very, very excited. Just last week, I spoke with Michael Osuna. I was able to interview him, and these are people of the generation that I grew up with. So it is
Well,
indeed
I'm
my
happy to hear
pleasure. It is indeed my pleasure speaking with you this morning. Are we talking about Tobago Carnival 2024 here on the island? We know this is the third
Yes.
edition of the Carnival production here on the island. And at the inception, when there was the first one in 2022, there was a lot of opinions in the atmosphere. People were talking about how will it happen? Should it happen? What will be the approach? What would it look like? What would it feel like? And here we are 3 years after. Reports coming in from, as I mentioned, a wide cross-section of the stakeholders declaring it an absolute success. While we're still waiting on the actual statistics and the data from all, ends and corners, we're seeing that we have enjoyed some measure of success. What are your views on what you have been able to see and hear about the Carnival for this year?
Well, let me preface what I'm going to say by saying to you that it is a well-known fact, and if it is not, I want it to be known, that I am one of the people who work hard, and fought everybody to have a standalone carnival in Tobago. I am extremely happy to see the trajectory that the Tobago Carnival has taken. The trajectory is that it is upwards. You're not seeing anything going down. If I have to give some marks, and I have to give a mark from let's say 1 to 10, I would give them 8.5, because the effort that had been put in it is human effort. And I would say that it was a big success myself, because I have been there for all of it, from the first one to the third one, and hopefully how many more and how long I'm going to be around, I would be right there. But I am saying to you that I love what I'm seeing. I love what is happening. I love how the Tobago Carnival is taking the direction that it is taking now. It is very, very, very good. I enjoyed it, as so did many other persons.
Right, and I'm happy to hear that you have enjoyed it. And your experience over the years within culture, the arts, carnival, soca, calypso, what do you think ascribes for a good production of something of the magnitude of carnival? What do you think are some of the elements that must be put in place that we must continue to build on to ensure that the carnival production is as a success as it was this year and even greater in years to come?
All Tobago Carnival has to do is to imbue its own carnival with its own tradition, because Tobago has a tradition apart from Trinidad, and all they have to do is to imbue that in it. Tobago have characters that can be put into the carnival to make to create that uniqueness of a Tobago carnival as distinct from a Trinidad carnival, because Trinidad and Tobago's carnival is distinct from all the other carnival that we have exported in the world, because of the characters that we have, and because of what created our carnival and how it was created and why it was created. So Tobago has an opportunity to do the same thing. And I am saying to you that, and I said this before, so I would say it again, that Tobago Carnival has the potential to be one of the best carnivals in the world, because you all are planning a carnival now that is based on nothing else but basically tradition and in terms of the characters that you're going to put in there, and nothing else but economics. Trinidad Carnival has too much added because of its antecedents. Tobago is not encumbered by that at all, as indeed carnivals like Notting Hill and New York and Canada and all the other islands, they are not encumbered by what Trinidad Carnival is encumbered with. I heard Gary Griffith say something about having carnival in a certain way in Trinidad and whatever. He has to understand why carnival was created in Trinidad. And we have to understand now why we are creating Carnival in Tobago. Because the economic stimulus that Carnival is cannot be surpassed by anything else. If Carnival was a different type of investment for private individuals, as it is, it incorporates private individuals. But if it was a solely private enterprise, that person will be a billionaire.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. And you were talking about the traditions of Tobago, and this year for Carnival they included a segment called the Monarchs of Mars, and there they of
Yes,
course they did the traditional, and that is one of the things the secretary Tashia Grace Burry, she was on our program yesterday, and she was mentioning
yeah,
the fact that we have to continue to make Tobago Carnival unique to Tobago. Sell Tobago,
yes,
package Tobago in such a way where you must realize that you are in someplace different. You are in Tobago, so you're going to keep that kind of
yes,
Tobago centric. Talking about there's talks in the atmosphere. People talking about when you're talking about a carnival, you want an extended period because you want to revel, you want to fit for as long as you can. You want to escape your reality and be in a space
yeah,
where you can let your hair down and be free and just
yeah.
just lose all inhibitions. And there talks about extending the carnival period. Do you think that it is wise at this point in time to expand the period, to extend it to a wider, a longer period outside of the Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in Tobago?
Well, the thing about it is that Saturday and Sunday is really the culmination of Tobago's carnival, whether they know it or not, or whether they like it or not. It is really the culmination of it. Carnival in Tobago is really about 3 weeks because all the activities that take, just like Trinidad, right now, all now Carnival in Trinidad basically starts because we have band launches, we have all type of carnival activities taking place. Monday and Tuesday in Trinidad and Tobago is really the culmination of carnival. But the carnival activities that takes place, actually, let's go back to Tobago and centric it to Tobago. The thing about it is that it is, in fact, carnival in Tobago is about 3 weeks. So I don't think that there's really a need to extend the days to say that you're going to have carnival what Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No, I don't think that. I think that the culmination on Sunday and Saturday and Sunday, that's good enough. Everything else should be built in and within that. You understand what I'm saying? So the pre-carnival activities is what determines how great the carnival is going to be. All those pre-carnival activities. And I think that Tobago is having its fair share of pre-carnival activities, even though up to this point it is not sufficient. They are going to have more as we go along because people like success. And as long as people see something is successful, they are going to find themselves being incorporated in it one way or the other, whether it is business or just for revelry, but it is going to be in there. So I am saying to you that there's no need to extend it to have extra days. What are you going to do? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? No, no. That Saturday and Sunday is nice for Tobago. It's really, 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 really good. And I think people appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you were talking about some of the pre-events that happen that lead up to Carnival. I'm not sure if you're aware, but in Tobago, we have something called the Blue Food Festival, and that took place this year,
Oh
the
man,
week
no.
before.
Yes, I am there. I go to Blue Food.
And what was your
I go to
experience
Blue
like as
Food.
we talk about that now? What was your experience like at the Blue Food
I did
Festival?
not this year. I didn't go this year because I was out of the country. But the thing about it is that once I'm here, I go to Blue Food and it's a great experience. As a matter of fact, it's a unique Tobago experience. Whether you want to inculcate that in your carnival or say that your carnival starts that time to have more carnival activities after that and not just have Blue Food and there's a big space between. You can have the Blue Food, and that maybe Blue Food should be the start of your carnival season or your carnival activities.
That is actually how it happened this year on the island.
Right,
Yeah, it really
right.
was a bumper season for us for Carnival. There were so many things happening. We had World Food Day. We came out of that, then we went straight into the Blue Food Festival, and then we went
Very
into the
good.
Carnival. So I think it was absolutely amazing the way things were planned and the way the calendar
Yes,
was set for this year.
very
And
good.
we're looking forward. I mean, Tobago is really really in excitement mode, and we're looking forward to what can happen next year. In terms of festivals on the island of Tobago, are you in tune with some of the festivals that we host on the island, and how do you think we can kind of tie them in to ensure that we continue to market Carnival throughout the entire year?
Well, of course, you must market Carnival throughout the entire year. As a matter of fact, that's what I was saying. That Tobago has an opportunity that Trinidad really don't have. Tobago have an opportunity to use Carnival as a tourism tool, as a definite tourism tool, without any religious attachment, without any political attachment, without any encumbrance whatsoever. Tobago has that opportunity. And whatever you envisage now, you can incorporate it within your Carnival product. Whether you want to take it further, bring it closer, incorporate it, have it as standalone, or, it is just, you have an opportunity to do all of that.
Absolutely.
And that is what I envisaged all these many years ago.
Absolutely, and of course, we appreciate your contributions in the space of culture, carnival, the arts. As I mentioned, growing up, I grew up with this name in my household. I don't know if our viewers know, but my home is a calypso home. My father is a calypso writer here on the island of Tobago, and we were just
Yes,
always sitting around the television around carnival time, listening to the types of productions that you people come up with in terms of your lyrical content and the way, of
yes, yes.
course, you deliver it on the national stage for the March Gras, and ensuring that you draw the people in with the stories that you tell. So I must say, of course, I really appreciate you and all that you have done for culture and the arts here in Trinidad and Tobago, and your involvement, your passion, of course, for seeing Tobago continuing to rise in that place as well. In closing, Mr. Peters, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers this morning as it relates to Tobago, our carnival, or festivals, your relationship with us, or anything in general you'd like our viewers to know this morning?
Well, I have always had a relationship with Tobago because my relatives are from Tobago. So I have lots and tons of relatives in Tobago. A lot of them who are some of them are involved in your carnival activities. And I feel very good about that. But what I want to take the opportunity to do now as well, I want to commend the police force, the police service. I want to commend them for doing what they did. They did a fantastic job. I looked at what they were doing, and I spoke to some of them even before the carnival, and they told me what they were going to do, and I saw them do it. It is something that they planned and they executed it well. And I want to say how thankful I am for that. And I'm thanking them for Tobago and looking forward for them doing the same thing in Trinidad. One thing I want to tell Tobago though, I would like to see Tobago continue sticking to making sure investing their money in the Tobago Carnival and not waste time and invest any money in the March or February or January Carnival that Trinidad and Tobago normally have. If you must take part in it, come to Trinidad. Come to Trinidad, because when we waste time in Tobago and spend a lot of money there for that February or March Carnival, everybody still comes to Trinidad, like indeed the rest of the world do. And then what happens? That money doesn't bring back the return that you invest, and it doesn't make sense. You have a good Tobago product now. Sit down and do your planning, invest your money, put your resources into that carnival to make it the product that we know it can be. Do not waste your time with trying to bring this February thing, and you have two jab on the road in Tobago for carnival and nobody to even watch them. Not even their own family, because their family gone Trinidad. So you see, the thing about it is that is my admonition, if I have one, is to make sure that we continue to put all our resources and our effort in making Tobago's carnival what we know it can be. And if you look at what was put into it this year, and if you look at the result of this year, you will see what I am saying should be continued.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. Of course, the assessments will continue as we continue to plan for festivals here on the island of Tobago, including Carnival, whether it is in October or what we're going to do for the January, February instance. Thank you so very much for coming on
Yeah,
here this
I could tell
morning.
you what to do for January and February. I could tell you right now. Tobago is the tourism part of Trinidad and Tobago. Prepare for after Carnival in Trinidad to make sure that you have good transportation and you have the kind of activities in Tobago, the kind of after Carnival activities in Tobago that would bring people to the beaches and the hotels and the other things and to the culinary aspect of your country of Tobago. Bring them there. That is the kind of thing that you must do. The money that you would have wasted on the February Carnival, put it into the tourism aspect and do things that would bring people over. Have the Tobago cooler. Call that the cool down period for Carnival. And you would have the same amount of Trinidad people and all the other persons who came down for Carnival going to Tobago for all your other after Carnival activities because they have already had their fill of Carnival.
Absolutely. Wisdom through experience there. Thank you so much, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, for coming on this morning and sharing your thoughts with us and for giving us those recommendations, which I am certain will be part of the discussion as stakeholders meet to continue planning. Do have a pleasant morning and enjoy your holiday tomorrow.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine. Same to you. And all the best, Tobago. I love you, man.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters as he brought his opinions, his thoughts, and recommendations for the Tobago October Carnival and other festivals here on the island of Tobago. We have to go for a short break, but we're going to continue conversations here in studio. So we do hope that you can stay with us as we continue before we wrap this morning. We'll be right back. 1,000 people strong.